Hello everyone, my name is Navisima and I'm here to present my MPhil thesis topic on parental stress among Indian married couples when the mother has chronic kidney diseases, that is CKD. It's a mixed method study. Now let us look into what CKD is. The main functioning of kidney is to purify blood and urine. When there is a gradual loss of functioning, this leads to chronic kidney diseases. There are 5 stages of CKD, which is measured using GFR, that is glomerular filtration rate. The complications of CKD are high blood pressure and diabetes, bone diseases, anemia, and heart diseases. The causes of CKD are intake of unregulated painkillers, lack of exercise, intake of excessive salts, and family history. Treatment for CKD are dialysis, which is also called as renal replacement therapy, and kidney transplantation. These treatments are given to the patients who are in their end stage of CKD. There are different types of dialysis like hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, hemofiltration, hemotifiltration, etc. These dialysis are given to the patients considering the factors which are affecting their health and the equipments which are available in the hospital. So usually in our country, hemodialysis is a well-known used dialysis method. Now let us look into incidence of CKD. Globally, 753 million people have diagnosed with CKD in 2016, in which 417 millions are females and 336 millions are males. In 2017, 1.2 million deaths have occurred, and 2.3 to 7.1 million people with end-stage chronic kidney diseases died without access to dialysis. So now let us look into the national incidence of CKD. Diabetes and hypertension are the major causes of CKD in our country, and CKD is considered as 8th most common cause of death in India. A recent study conducted by NIMS, that is Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences, revealed that every year in Telangana 3,000 new cases are registered under CKD under Arogyasri scheme, which is expected to increase by 10,000 cases by 2040. So now let us look into psychosocial aspects of CKD. First we will look into the patients and then I'll be talking about caregivers. It is seen that people who are diagnosed with CKD have anxiety and depression, and it is seen that it is higher among men. And another study conducted by Hawaii et al. In 2003 revealed that most of the patients who have CKD have expressed fatigue. There is a reduced functional capacity. That is, before they used to do a lot of work, now they're not able to do, and they're also experiencing stress. And another qualitative study conducted by Deneker et al. In 2001 revealed that people who are diagnosed with CKD are all have negative quality of life, and they even express that they are being burdened to their family members, and some of the patients have started isolating themselves from the family members, and there is a lot of confusion in thinking and concentrating in daily activities that they do. And contrary to this, it is seen that when they got support from their family and friends, they are satisfied in their life. So now let us look into the caregivers, psychosocial aspects of CKD. A study conducted by Jeffrey et al. In 2018 revealed that high levels of caregiver burden has affected the quality of life of caregivers. And depression is also seen in the caregivers. When patients are highly depressed, it is affecting the caregivers, that is spouses as well. So now let us look into theoretical framework of mutuality. So health has been shifted from biomedical model to biopsychosocial model, which included interpersonal relationship, which play an important role in health outcomes. So as a part of understanding women's psychological development, that these interpersonal relationships have an impact on psychological well-being. Considering this, Jordan et al. Came up with this theory called self in relation theory as a part of this mutuality was developed. And self in relation theory is also called as being a relationship and a relational self. So now let us look into what mutuality is. Mutuality is defined as reciprocated interest in knowing another's and sharing one's own cognitive and emotional experiences within close relationships. Um, So Hirschfeld et al. In 1983, as a he tried to see mutuality in the health aspect and explained mutuality as caregivers' ability to find gratification, meaning, and reciprocity in relationship with caregivers. Thus, by adopting this theory, Ashford et al. Came up with this questionnaire called Mutuality Questionnaire, which we will be seeing in the further slides. Thus, mutuality is also defined as a quality of relationship shared between the caregiver and the care receiver. So now let us look into the mutuality and psychological outcomes. Uh, Mutuality is associated with increased emotional resilience. Higher levels of mutuality is associated with higher levels of quality of life, increased self-esteem, lowered the depression symptoms, daily anger in people. Another study conducted on stroke patients and caregivers, it is revealed that physical and mental quality of life is well developed and patients perceive lower stroke-related stress. So now let us look into effects of CKD on the husband-wife relationship. Uh, uh, you know, in one of the study, it is seen that increased levels of perceived burden is related to levels of depression among caregivers. Spouses' psychosocial status impact the levels of patients' depression, and even the patient's psychosocial status has an impact on the caregivers' levels of depression as well. And another study conducted by Kemel et al. In 2000 revealed he wanted to see the dyadic conflict among couples. It is seen that dyadic conflict is associated with mortality risk, especially among women, whereas dyadic satisfaction is associated with decreased mortality risk. And another study conducted by Angelo Mello in 2018 to see the psychosocial aspects, how it is affecting the couples. There are two themes that have emerged from this study, that is before the dialysis and after the other one, the second theme is after the dialysis. And it is seen that before the dialysis, their life has been revolving around the work, but after the invasion of the disease, it is seen that there is an intense suffering, like physically, psychologically, and there is a huge damage to the family as a whole. Now let us look into effects of CKD on child-parent relationship. A qualitative study conducted on families to see the experiences of CKD revealed that CKD treatment has affected gender-specific roles, parent-child relationships, and family dynamics. And when we look deep into it, the underlying causes of this are the negative negative family outcomes are financial problems, tiredness due to dialysis, lack of time to spend with the family and children. A study on couples with a child who is on peritoneal dialysis revealed that there is a continued emotional warmth toward the study, but there is also an increased criticism over time. And it is seen that no research has been conducted on effects of CKD on husband-wife relationship and child-parent relationship in India. So now let us look into aims and objectives of my study. The first aim of my study is to examine demographic, that is age, economic status, etc., and psychological variables, that is mutuality, child-parent relationship, predictors of parental stress among married couples when the patient is the mother diagnosed with chronic kidney diseases, that is CKD. The second aim of my study is to examine demographic, that is age, economic status, and psychological variables, mutuality, child-parent relationship, predictors of parental stress among patients and caregivers when the patient is the mother who is diagnosed with CKD. The main differences between these two aims of objectives of my study are, in the first one, it is seen among the couples, like both the caregivers and the patients together, whereas in the second one, it is seen among the patients separately and caregivers separately. The third aim of my study is to explore the experiences, perceptions, and expectations of CKD and parenting among married couples when the patient is the mother diagnosed with CKD. So now let us look into methods of this study. For this project, I have used mixed methods, that is quantitative study followed by a qualitative study, and ethics approval was obtained from Institute Ethics Committee (IETH). For the quantitative study, I have collected data from 40 couples in various centers of various Nephroplus centers in Hyderabad, and the questionnaires were administered using nested questions methods, which took time till 10 to 20 minutes, and the data analysis was conducted using Pearson correlation and multiple regression. The questionnaires that I have used for my study are mutuality scale, which is a 15-item scale. Higher the score suggests the higher levels of mutuality, and it has 4 subscales: love, shared pleasurable activity, shared values, reciprocity. And another scale I have used is a child-parent relationship scale, which is a 15-item scale. There are 2 subscales in this: child-parent closeness and child-parent conflict. So for this, the higher the score suggests the higher levels of closeness, or higher the score suggests the higher levels of conflict. So it is done separately for these scales. And the next scale that I have used is parental stress scale, which is an 18-item scale. Even for this the scoring is lower the score suggests the lower level, lesser the stress levels. Now let us look into the participants demographic information. It is seen that most of the patients have completed their high schooling, whereas caregivers, most of them have completed their undergraduation, and most of the patients are homemakers, whereas most of the caregivers are either self-employed or retired, and most of them belong to middle income, that is 16 participants, 16 participants, and the number of the children they had are, majority of them had 2 children, and the gender of the children, they had both. So now let us look into the patient's medical information. Most of the patients are diagnosed with end-stage chronic kidney diseases, followed by like four of the patients are diagnosed with polycystic kidney diseases, and all of them belong to stage 5, and all of them undergoing dialysis. Most of them undergoing dialysis for 3 times in a week. Um, and only one participant was undergoing 2 times in a week. Time since diagnosis in years is 7.65, which is in years. Time since treatment 3.73 in years, and it's an average number. So now let us look into the correlational findings for the total sample. So it is seen that the higher levels of parental stress was associated with no formal education, unskilled labor, annual income, unemployed couples. Whereas lower levels of parental stress was associated with undergraduation, retired couples, high annual income, whereas the psychological variables also were associated with lower levels of parental stress, like mutuality, love, shared pleasurable activities, shared values, etc. Uh, and for the patients, it is seen that higher levels of parental stress is associated with low income. See, if you remember when when we see in the demographic details, it is seen that most of the patients most of the patients were housewives. So, it is seen that these patients were reliable on their family, on their husbands for, in the aspect of financial support, etc. So it is seen that it is stressing them a lot. Now let us look into the caregivers. Higher levels of parental stress is associated with no formal education, lower the education, that is up to high school, or unskilled labor, unemployment, low income. Whereas low levels of parental stress is associated with child-parent closeness, love, shared pleasurable activities, total mutuality, reciprocity, etc. And now let us look into the regression analysis. Perceived parental stress was regressed on demographic correlates like no formal education, undergraduation, income, unskilled labor, unemployed, and retired participants. Psychological correlates were mutuality, love, shared pleasurable activities, shared values, and child-parent closeness. There was, these correlates were found to have 27.3% of variance on perceived parental stress, but there was no significant predictors. The reason could be my sample size was small. It is one of the reasons why there are no significant predictors. And now let us look into the patients. So the demographic variables of low income was regressed on perceived parental stress. Low income was found to be 13% of variance on perceived parental stress. Whereas for caregivers, perceived parental stress was regressed on demographic correlates like no formal education, high schooling, unskilled labor, unemployed, low income, etc. Psychological correlates are child-parent closeness, total mutuality, love, shared pleasurable uh, activities, reciprocity. These correlates were found to have 47.3% of variance on perceived parental stress, and child-parent closeness is the strongest predictor of parental stress among caregivers. So now let us look into the methods of qualitative study. From the 40 couples that I have collected data for the quantitative study, 9 of the couples agreed to be part of qualitative study. And I have collected data from the same research center, Nephroplus. And the data I have collected are semi-structured interviews. Through this method, I have collected the data. Data was analyzed using IPA, that is interpretative phenomenological analysis. These are the sample interview questions like couples' experiences of supportive care and their relationship, children's awareness, knowledge of the illness, couples' perception of the parental relationship with their children, couples' relationship in the context of their. So now let us look into the demographic information. It is seen that most of the patients, like 4 of the patients, um, completed their schooling, whereas most of the caregivers did intermediate and undergraduation, and all of the patients are homemakers, and most of the caregivers are self-employed, and most of the participants belong to, most of them are coming from high income, followed by a low income and middle income families. Most of them had 2 children. So now let us look into the patient's medical information. 7 of the patients were diagnosed with end-stage chronic kidney diseases, and 2 of them were diagnosed with polycystic kidney diseases, and all of them were in stage 5 and were undergoing dialysis 3 times in a week. And on an average, time since diagnosis is 8, and time since treatment on an average is 5.04. So now let us look into the qualitative outcomes. There are 3 themes that were emerged in my qualitative study. The first theme is a storm of emotions, a sense of duty, the journey of CKD. Patients expressed anger and denial throughout the study. Caregivers were accepting the illness, and they were accepting the patient's emotions as well. Patients looked at medical encounters with anger because it is asymptomatic in nature, so the diagnosis was done in the later stages. Whereas caregivers understood where this is coming from and embraced them by understanding their emotions and acted according to their will. Patients expressed hatred and aversion towards their life because of the uncertainty of the mortality. Caregivers understood there is no going back, and they started accompanying the patient to the hospital for dialysis treatment. When patients expressed anger, irritation, caregiver understood the situation and acted according to how the patients wanted. So when a wife becomes a daughter, a changed relational dynamics. Role change has happened because the patients, after the patients were diagnosed with chronic kidney diseases. Like before, the wife is the one who used to do all the domestic duties in the home, and now husband started taking care of everything, like doing the domestic duties or taking care of the wife, etc. So in terms of household activities, there are 2 main reasons that were which explains the situation. The first one is making up for the past. Like before, in one of the participants mentioned that before I never used to, get time to spend with my wife, but now I'm able to spend time with my wife because of her, after her diagnosis. The second one is before she used to take care of me, now it's my turn to take care of her. And patients reported guilty and grateful towards their caregivers. So they expressed grateful because their lives were extended because of the caregivers, and they were, some of the patients were feeling guilty because they were not able to fulfill their duty as a wife. Caregiver's role was, however, operationalized by both patients and caregivers through the process of viewing the patient differently like a daughter. So the patients have given up on the decision, and they started depending on their and husband or caregivers. So this has made easier for the caregivers as well to take care of the patient as a daughter rather than a wife. So two of the caregivers expressed that there is a reduced desire to engage in sexual activities. This could be because they were viewing them as a daughters. So the third theme that has emerged from my study is the fine line between the family closeness and dependency, parental stress. So this theme talks about how parents felt embarrassed to talk to their children about the diagnosis or treatment because it will bring up the topic of financial aspect which they wanted to avoid. To avoid this, they started not talking to their children about the whole process of diagnosis or treatment, and it is seen that some of the children had to drop out of the school or colleges because they wanted to support their parents. Because of this, parents were experiencing a lot of parental stress. So now let us look into the discussion. So there are certain things which were stood out in my study. The first one is the financial aspects. Financial aspects which is causing parental stress among couples. Weaker the economic indicated the higher levels of parental stress, and parents prefer not to lean on their children for the financial support. There are in accordance with the previous study. In most of the Indian parents prefer not to lean on their children for the financial support. This is also seen in my study where the participants did not want to become burden on their children. People belonging to lower economic strata started to take loans to help children's education and for their treatment as well. This is adding burden on the family. With this, children's settlement is also adding burden on the family. Like in my sample, two of the couples have girl child who are in a hurry to get her children, that is the daughter, married. This has a lot of financial aspect attached to it, where they have to spend a lot of money, which causes burden on the participants. So it is seen that in the third theme, where there is a communication avoidance among the family members. This is linked with dads reporting increased distress over becoming burden to their children. Family has undergone structural and functional changes when an individual is faced with chronic illness. This was explained by family structural theory, which says that when one of the family member uh, uh, when there is a crisis, or when the functioning is not happening of that particular family member, the other family member comes into the action to take the role of that particular member, and they start dividing the work. This was seen in my qualitative study, in which husband has started taking care of the feminine roles, and wives experiencing strong emotions of guilt and grief. So the low income is associated with increased levels of parental stress. Since a majority of the patients were homemakers, it is possible that they were aware of the financial health of the family. Traditionally, women is the one who managed household income and expenses. Since the caregivers took an extra care of caretaking, this may have compromised their opportunities to engage in more paid work. And patients channel their anger towards their physician onto their husbands, because in the first theme it is seen that they were showing anger and they were irritated because their diagnosis was done in the later stages due to its asymptomatic nature. So to understand with it, they attributed it to the first physician who diagnosed them, and they have channeled this anger towards their husband, whereas the husband took their emotions and started understanding the wife and her emotions, and this was not captured in the quantitative study, whereas in the qualitative study, this was well explained. The conflict of gratefulness and guilt, this was explained by equity theory. Equity theory is nothing but when you invest something in a relationship, you expect the same, not more, not less. So these patients were feeling that they are over benefited because their husbands are doing everything like household activities and getting money for their medical expenses, etc. Because of this, patients were feeling over benefited by this, so that's the reason they were feeling guilty. So now let us look into the caregivers discussion. So child-parent closeness was the higher among the fathers than mothers when one of the parent was affected with chronic illness. So it is seen that there are two main reasons why father want to contribute to their children in financial and in another aspect as well. Because being breadwinner of the family, he wants to support the family, in all different ways, because of the caregiver is experiencing stress, and it is seen that the closeness with their um, children has reduced parental stress among the fathers. Viewing the patient as a daughter, so by looking at the wife as a daughter has changed the perspective of caregiver, of taking care of her as a daughter. Usually patriarchal role of men in the society, where men is the breadwinner and family of the family, and wife is the one, who does the domestic duties. To compensate with that, he started viewing her as a daughter by taking care of her. So now let us look into the conclusion. The findings of this project are: parental stress is a complex experiences involving multiple demographic and psychological aspects. So for individual members, parental stress is linked to low income among the patients and child-parent closeness being the strongest predictors for the caregivers. So the qualitative findings further unpacked and added to the quantitative findings like balancing patients and caregivers' happiness, improved happy relations, distress due to financial dependency on their children. So now let us look into the implications, methodological implications. So I felt that mixed methods is an art approach when exploring relatively unexplored topics like this. And research implications are further research to be focused on when the children belong to specific age groups like adolescents, etc. And when the patient is the father, and larger samples will help to generalize the findings. The clinical implications are medical professionals need to identify and address parental stress in patients and caregivers, and perceived closeness with the family can be enhanced through communication interventions involving the patient, caregiver, and their children. Individual counseling to address the feeling of guilt and strong emotions of anger among patients. Thank you.